Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. Here today to help me with that mission is Miss Linda Cain. Welcome, Linda.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
I can't wait to talk about your topic today, you guys. Linda is going to be leading one of our expert collaborative book projects. This one is called The Art, Business, and Mastery of Transformational Events Strategies for High Profit Success. And this is going to be a magnificent collaboration. Let me tell you a little bit about Linda. Linda Cain is the founder of Events by Blu Diamond and a seasoned event strategist with 25 plus years of experience. She helps coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs design aligned, high impact events that generate a lot of cash, y'all, while building visibility, community, and scalable event driven businesses. Linda blends strategy, experience, design, and heart centered leadership to create transformative, profitable experiences. Linda, this is going to be such a cool book. Tell me a little bit about the why behind the woman and this topic.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think I've seen it all and done it all. And I'm just really inspired to be able to reach out to everyone and put a book together that really shows it's going to be different because not only is there going to be the authors in the book, but I want to have a section of it where we actually put some tools in there and have something to give our readers. So they're also going to be able to have access to some tools that really help to that we need when we're doing events. So I'm really excited about that part of it. But my why is because I really want people to understand that events are the number one way of getting profit, getting community, building your business, and how exciting it can really be and how simple it can be to really pull people together and have that event-driven business model run work for you every year.
What was the start for you in all of this? Give us a little bit of the story.
So I was always that kid. My parents were in aeronautics and design engineers for the aircraft company. And so they were very analytical and left brain. And I came out being the rah-rah cheerleader. What are we doing? Let's go somewhere. And so I think I was born with this in my blood. I love planning events. I started it in my career very early. When I was in high school, I found that I could work for a catering company and do events and make more money on the side than my friends. So I was always, just involved in it. And it evolved over time. I met Bob Proctor back in 2003, and that was my opening into being an entrepreneur. And from there, I've just had the privilege of working with some of the top thought leaders and businesses and just and it's that Kaizen theory from Japan, right? You continue to grow and build, and every week you just ask yourself, what can you do different? What can you do new? How can you expand? And through events that you can really see the evolution of people. You can see somebody 1 year and 2, 3 years later, you can see what they become and who they've been. And it's because of events and going to events and educating themselves. And I just love it. And we've done all kinds. I've done everything from like bar mitzvah to bar mitzvahs to, working with entertainment and corporate and trade associations and real estate and homeopathic doctors. And the more events I do and the more diversified events we do, the more I grow as a person and a leader and my team grows. But I don't know, I just love events. That's my tagline. Linda Kane, I love events. And I really honestly believe there's an event in every person. I really
Yeah.
do.
It's kind of like when I say, there's a book in everybody. I think you're right. I
Mhm.
think there's an event in everyone as well.
Mhm.
So you are the brilliant mind behind our 100th book party. This was past May
So fun.
2025. And That was a really, really cool experience for me to see what was possible with an online event because our community is global. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to invite people from all around the world to have an experience, to actually have an event experience online, obviously, because I wanted them, to be able to enjoy if they couldn't travel. And I know you do both in person and online events, but I just wanted to give you the shout out for something that I think was produced other level. I had never experienced some of the things you guys did for that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about, what you've been up to. I I
That
have
was
a
a great, I just want to interject. That was, if there's video out there for you to see that event, go to Laura's website and check it out. But that was such an amazing event. It wasn't Kyle. We had Kyle Cease as our keynote speaker and learned about his transition from comedian to coach to author. And it was an incredible event. And 100 top bestsellers celebrated. It was an honor to be there to see that.
Oh, thank you. It was quite a thing for me. It was quite a moment, and I do love to celebrate. And so I think that's probably my favorite event to have is a celebration kind of event. We've got a 10-year as a company anniversary coming up this
Mhm.
year. And so I've been dreaming up my ideas for what that's going to be.
Yeah.
But a little bit more about my why for these expert collaborations, you guys. Like when I meet leaders like Linda and they are collaborative minded, and I'm saying to her, hey, let's get together with all of the different kinds of voices and professionals in your world and let's put this ultimate guide together,
Hmm.
because in collaboration we all go further. And I think you got excited about that because of who you know and who you wanted to pull together. What do
Hmm.
you give me more about that? Like, what do you hope to teach the world with this book?
Oh, the biggest thing that I hope to teach is that you have an event inside you and it needs to be birthed and it needs to come out. And your message, who you are, what you're teaching, what you have to say, really, really matters. And there's people that need to hear it. And what better way than to do it either virtually or in person through a retreat or a event, a workshop, a master class, something like that. And so using this book as a catalyst to open people's eyes, show what has been possible. I'm very excited that some of our clients and people that we know will join us and share their transformation and their transitions from their business to what they've been able to create in the world and just really use it as um, I think it's a guide of what is really possible. And yes, you too can have wonderful income, great message, build a wonderful community around you that is going to be there to support each other and to support yourself. And just, let's be creative and I don't know, Laura. It's just really want people to understand that having an event driven business is not as hard as we think it is.
Well, especially with help,
Hmm.
it was much more exciting than I thought it could be, even for that first one that we did together. So I want to tell you guys, if you're excited, if you are an event professional and you're like, well, I want to be in this book because this is part of what I do. You authors will come into this project and you'll be sharing an amazing chapter that includes two main parts. Linda hinted to the tool part earlier, but you're going to start with your real story because we want to get to know, love, and trust you. And we want to hear your real story about who you are and how you got to doing this thing you do about events, right? So the chapters start with a story and then they pivot to a practical strategy or tool where you're stepping up to teach the reader something that they can take from the pages of the book. So the stories are healing and amazing, but when you get a book of tools, especially about events, I'm really excited about the value this book is going to have for people. So tell us a little bit more about the kinds of event experts that you want to pull in and that will be contributing.
So I want stories where, somebody started, maybe it didn't quite work out and they kept at it and now they went from like struggling financially and now they're making their millions. Or I also want the stories of where they have the perfect business or a coach who has the perfect business. They do a couple retreats every year, they make their good money. They're, doing a coaching group, but events surround them in the sense that that's their catalyst and how they bring people into their world and how they're making, an easy 250, 300,000 a year consistently, year after year. Um, so that's like the money piece of it. But what I really want is the stories of how it really changed their life and really changed who they connect with, who they've become, and what their message is for everyone, and then how they use events to do that, and then also what it is that they can teach us and show us that's possible for us as well, following in their footsteps or following their story or, having their story resonate with our readers. That's why we'll have different stories. So each story will resonate with different people where they're at. So it's not like I'm looking for this book to go out to a certain group of people. I really want it to go far and wide and inspire a lot of people.
Well, the unique story aspect of the chapters does that. And that's why we need all of your voices, because the way that you say it and write it and how you share your story is going to be the way a reader's life is changed. And so this is big potato stuff to me. Like books
Mhm,
are legacy work. And
mhm,
so we're, as a publisher, we're going to help you bring your legacy into the world in a much bigger way, right? So, similar to how events build community and business, so do these book
mhm.
collaborations. And so when Linda and I come together as this dynamic duo, we're going to be able to catapult your story, your message. And you're also going to have different topic lanes in terms of like, there's a lot of different people involved in lanes of events. And
Mhm.
you might do one aspect of event planning, you might have a specialty in this kind of thing in terms of events. Anything you want to say about that, those lanes?
Yes, so I don't want this to be where every chapter is similar to the next one. I really want these to be unique, 22 unique and different stories that take the reader down something that they may not have even thought of, right? And opens our minds to like, oh, I could do that, or oh, I resonate with that, or that's awesome. And so part of the part of what I'm looking for is also for people who work like I have an audiovisual guy who's going to come in and do a chapter on really how you use the microphones, the video, and his story about being behind the camera and what that's like and how that also, is creates the art and business of events because you capturing the people and how you capture the people and then I have someone who I want to have come in who talks about marketing and how easy it is to really find your right audience and how to bring that audience in. So, yeah, I just want this to be different. I want this to be so unique and different in the industry and in collaboration books. My biggest hope and desire is that there'll be stories that people can resonate with. There'll be tips that give them inspiration and they want to go out and do something and start, do their own event or add to their own event. And then I want them to actually learn, like, I didn't know that about being behind the camera, or I didn't know that about sending send out cards, and how effective that can be as a mailing for an event and being in touch with your audience. So,
Oh my gosh, there's probably a million more things, you guys. And Linda is just like scratching the surface with a couple of things. All right. I want to wrap up with sort of a summary kind of golden nugget idea. If somebody's listening to this and they're, thinking about their next event that they want to put on, you guys might, decide that you want to come right for the book, but Linda, if I'm going to be putting on my next event, what do you think is the most important thing I should know as I head into that planning?
Whoa. Um, it always goes back to me for knowing our numbers. Like whatever that vision of your event is, how what it's really going to cost you to put it on and to see it come to fruition. And I think just spending a little bit of time with yourself, map it out. This is what I want. Do a little bit of research. Bring the components in, like if you want a sound bath or if you want, a nature walk or a hike, or if you want to, like go to Italy, what is that really going to cost? If you're just doing it at an Airbnb, do you want to bring a chef in or do you want to just Uber Eats? I've seen it done both ways and it can be very effective. So I think the biggest thing is if you're really going to do an event and it's something that you want to do, or if you've been doing them and you just want to enhance them more, just take a moment to sit and really look at how much you want to make. Where do what do you want your event to do? What's the promise of your event and what do you want it to do for you? Is it visibility? Is it profit? Is it, building a community? What's the real purpose? And then in knowing that purpose and knowing where you want to go, then look at your budget, look at your numbers so that you can pull it all together and make it happen.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, to our prospective featured authors that are going to grab hands with you and be a part of this, what do you want to tell them today about this project?
I want you to really think of this as not another collaborative book that's going to sit on the shelf. I want you to realize that you're going to be with a community of leaders and movers and shakers and people who are really changing the industry, the events industry, and helping people, helping to transform lives, helping to make the world a better place. And this is my hope for this book is that it goes far and wide and inspires, but also that perhaps it can turn into other things. I really want to make sure that we push this out, that it becomes a bestseller everywhere, not just in one local place, and be something that you're proud of and that you want to give people and that you want to have sitting on your desk and in your bag when you're traveling, and you'll pull it out and be inspired time after time after time for the stories that'll be in the book, and that you'll be part of it and your story will be here.
Oh, I love it, Linda. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone. I share this piece. Part of my mission is to help support the thriving business behind each of our authors that come into the Brave Healer family, you guys. This community is a generous, safe space for our listeners, but it's also a place to find opportunities to shout out who you are and what you do in the world in a much bigger way. So if this topic today of events, transformational events resonates and you think you have a perfect contribution to this expert collaboration, please connect with Linda. I've got everything down below. You can connect with her and have a chat, see if it's a perfect fit for you. We know you're ready to become a published author in one of our signature best-selling expert book collaborations, and we cannot wait to chat about helping you leave your legacy. So lastly today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. It is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.